Hello everyone. In our today's video, we're gonna create that beautiful looking portfolio using Next.js, and there will be lots of things around to learn from this today's build. First of all, let's start building our project. I'm gonna run that command is npx create next app, and it will be with an example of with Tailwind CSS, and that will actually install all the Tailwind dependencies and config file for installing the Tailwind CSS. And now our project name is portfolio YT. So let's create that one. While the project is creating, let's explore a bit in our application whatever we are going to build. Now here you see our logo is available in that corner, and now there is a menu icon and there is a sidebar. You can go through that sidebar. It will take you to the particular section you want to go. And now you see all section is available smooth. There is a hover effect also going in your work in the feature work section. And now there is also a testimonial, and that is happening with the sliding option. And now also you have a contact folder over contact section over here. Now as you see, if you can click over here, it will take you to the top. And also if you notice that one, whenever we are just scrolling a bit down, our Navbar background is changing. So those all are the things we're gonna create from the scratch. And by the way, this entire build is responsive. If you go from top to bottom, it's fully responsive, and you're gonna create all of that today. So first of all, to create that, I think our application is ready. So let's cd inside our, I think the portfolio YT, give the name, and now start in our VS Code extension. Now this is our application is running over here. Let's make it a bigger. And as you see, all the structure is happening over here. And by the way, I'm not gonna use that Next.js 13 because this is still in experimental mode, and because this is your portfolio, you want to submit to some of the company, is better to be in that production level. Whenever the 13 will be like in production level, we can create that one. And to run the Next.js application, we need to write npm run dev. So it's gonna spin that application in our browser, and it will be localhost 3000. So now this is our application is going to be run over here. So first let's go to clean up that project, and as you see, our global CSS means Tailwind CSS is ready to rock, and also our Tailwind config file is set up already because we used the exemplary mode. And now let's go in the pages index.tsx. We're gonna use the TypeScript. Actually, just let's go and give you a brief understanding of what we're gonna build in our today's project. What kind of technology we're gonna use. First of all, if I say what we're gonna use, and then we're gonna use Next.js, and then also we're gonna use that TypeScript. And also we're gonna use the TSparticles. Remember, we're having some particle design is going on. We're gonna use that particles to create that design. And also we're gonna use that Tailwind CSS, and then we will also use that React Slick to create that slider. And also we're gonna use that React Scroll to create that scroll option for us. And also for there will be framer motion will be there, and then we're gonna use also React icons and so on. There is a tons of thing. Just stay with me, go through the from top to the beginning, beginning to the end. You're gonna find everything over there. So first of all, let's go and clean up our projects. What I'm gonna do inside that main, I'm gonna just remove everything, and also in footer. And after removing everything, I'm gonna take a div, and that div will, like, I'm gonna take h1 tag. This is it. So just save, and let's see. You see our application is running over here. And also we need to remove that CSS from there, and that image tag not require. And now there will be a bunch of properties, that image properties we're gonna use. I'm gonna take that all the properties and I'm gonna keep it in my public folder. So I'm gonna copy from my previous directory, and I'm gonna give the all the images I'm gonna use, I will put it in the description. Now see, all over the assets I require all the images, and also I have one images which will be our logo. Let's go and grab it over here. That is the logo I'm gonna use. So now what I'm gonna do, in the head tag I'm gonna just put a title over here in the title section, which will be the text block and new horizon, or not the text block, it will be my portfolio. And also what I'm gonna do, instead of that icon I'm gonna use our logo icon, which will be a small logo. And after saving, you see, title change, logo change. So now after that, what we need to do it first of all, we need to set up that portion which will be depend on every other thing. We need to create that banner like this. Everything as you see over here, this portion we need to create the banner portion. So let's go and create that portion. And to create the banner, first of all, what we're gonna do, everything will be inside that index.js. But what you need to do, in the top level we're gonna create a folder which will be components, and inside the components our everything gonna be rely. So now in index.tsx, what we're gonna create, I'm just giving a comments because there will be several section: banner, about me section, offer section, works, testimonial, and the contact section. So those all are the sections we're gonna create. So first let's create our banner. So I'm gonna go in components and it will be banner.tsx and refce. And to run that refce, don't forget to actually install some of the extension, which will be that ES7, and that for the React Redux extension. And also for the Tailwind CSS you need to install another one, the Tailwind CSS. And also for your formatter, better to use the prettier, so it will format everything automatically at the beginning, from the beginning till the end. So now my banner is ready. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna import my banner over here. Now after saving, I believe you will see the banner. So now in the banner we need to start working. So before I'm going to start working in the banner, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get some of the fonts for my entire application. So I'm gonna use the Nonito. So let's go, and that is coming from the Google Fonts. Just you can go to the Google Fonts and implement that one. You can import it. I already saw it in several videos. And after that I need to connect my font and every other things in my base file, the Tailwind config file. So I'm gonna get the font family, and that font family which I'm gonna take a body font, and that body font which will take that, let me get the font class name, it will be yes, it will be Nonito Sans. And also I'm gonna just go and grab for some of the backgrounds. As you see, there will be two backgrounds image over here. One in the banner is actually in the background, and also if you go in the bottom in the contact section, as you see, there is also one image. So these two images I'm gonna create as a background images. So for Tailwind CSS we need to actually declare the background images before you implement that one. And first one, it will be our hero image, and for that hero image we need to type that URL. We need to give a specific location for that from where it can search. Now that hero image, if you go over here in our public folder in the assets, I think this is the hero image. So we need to get that location to that. So by default it will go inside the public folder, and our image is inside the assets on the public folder. So let's get the assets, and now the name is bj.jpg. so this is our first image over here. Now also the same way I'm gonna take that contact image, I'll just implement right now. So let's run, we can use that one. And also I'm gonna declare the colors, because there will be two colors. One will be the design colors, another will be the text colors. That two I'll declare here. And also there will be a box shadow we're gonna use over here in our offer section. So I'm gonna implement that box shadow also here. So far our config file is ready. Now we are good to go. So let's go to our banner section. And now in the banner, we need to specifically do what we are going to do. So first let's go in the banner. I'll keep as a section because we're gonna use the React scroll, and that section ID will be home. And also you're gonna give a class name for it. Class name, the width will be full, and I'm gonna give a height of 700 pixel just to maintain the proportion. So let's keep that one. And after that we need to create that particles over here. So what I'm gonna do, instead of keeping everything in that over here, I'm gonna take another file which will be taken everything related to design. So let's create a design.txs, and that design.txs I'm gonna import inside my banner. So design is ready. Now we will work in our design.tsx. So first of all, let's go in the design and give a class name. Width will be full, and also height will be full. And now the background will be our hero image we gave before. Hero image. So if we save, I believe we will see the background image right now. See, the background image is available, but it's not looks better. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just make a VJ as cover, and that looks better. So after background, we need to initialize the particles, and that design word I'm gonna remove from here. So now in here I need to use that particles. Now how we can implement that particles, I'm gonna use the TSparticles. So let's go in npm. I'm gonna install that one over here. Let's open another terminal and install that TSparticles, React TSparticles. And now there is a lot of option over here, and for our today's build we're gonna use that TS, I think the TypeScript one we're gonna use. Yeah, that one, TypeScript support. So I already created a video. You're gonna find somewhere in the list or in the description. You can actually watch how to modify the TSparticles for React application. For this today's build, I'm gonna go a little bit first because I already implement that one and several times. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take all the necessary items required for that particles, and also we need to import that TSparticles. So npm I, we're gonna install that one. And after getting those things, now whatever I'm gonna paste or copy is all are available here. You can go through the documentation and you can implement the way you want to make your own particles, but I'm gonna just go a little bit first, otherwise we cannot finish it in time. So after that we need to implement this one, which will give us an use callback function, and also it will just load full engine for our particles. So now inside that div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get our entire particles. So this is our div. Inside that divs, I'm gonna implement the particles, and that particles is the value is coming from here. I'm just changing a little bit value to make it manipulate the way we want. So feel free to go on the documentation and read, and also watch the videos if you are not understanding the way it's supposed to be. So now if we save, let's save it, and our particle is ready. Now we see it's interactive and it looks better. So now we have our design particle, design portion is done, so we can close it. And after the design, now we need to create actually that to a button over here, which we're gonna give as a navbar. So after the design after having the design, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take another div, and inside that div I'm gonna take a navbar. By the way, if you put a name of div or section, doesn't matter, as well as the ID is available over here, so don't freak out for that. So now in that navbar, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take an h1 tag, which will give us our s word, which will be our logo, and also After that h1 tag, as you see over here, this is actually is not an icon. We will create it manually inside a div, so it's a span tag we are using. So first of all, let's go in our the h1 tag, and I'm gonna just go and grab some class name for it. So what I'm gonna do for it, that our h1 tag over here, I'm just making the font of body font, and by default it will take the body font, I believe. Did we implement that one over here in index? Yeah, we need to implement that one. So give a class name and font, it will be body font by default. If we miss somewhere, it will take the body font initially. So we just make that font and just make a little bit design over here. So I believe after that we're supposed to get that one, but where is our h1 tag? Yeah, we didn't get it yet. So I think in the navbar also I'm gonna just, I need to give it a width over here. So the width will be full, and let's give a padding in x-axis 16, padding in y-axis 6, and then let's give a busy of black. If we see it's working. No, we yeah, it's over here as you see, but we need to make it in the top. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make it fixed, so it will be in the top. Let's give it a value of fixed, and it will be from the top, it will be 0, and the z index will be a 40, just to be looks a little bit better. And as you see, after giving that, it's in the top. But what I'm gonna do, I give a background, and now I'm gonna reduce that busy opacity. I'm gonna give in 25, so it will be a little bit better. See, it looks good. Now we need to create another div which will contain our all other the parts. So after the h1 tag, I'm gonna take a div, and inside that div I'm gonna just implement the tree span tag, and it's the similar way I already did in so many videos. You can feel free to go through it. I'm just taking tree span tag, and you see I'm gonna giving a width and height for it. And whenever I'm group hovering on that, as you see over here, whenever I'm hovering, it's getting, the size is getting reduced. So that's the things I'm gonna implement. It's very simple. And for that, in the particular div in top level, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also go and give that some of the class name over here. Feel free to go through the class name, and it will be work just fine for you. So this is our home button is ready, and as you see, it looks good. So now it's working. Now after that home button, like after that navbar portion, oops, it will be here. Yeah, that's hover is affecting, it's working just fine, but we have some problem. It should be in some way need to work. So first of all, in the total nav, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a flex, and justify will be between, and items will be center. And as you see, now it looks perfect. So after that navbar, we need to create that portion which will contain that name and also that design portion. So for that one, what I'm gonna do, after ending of that nav, I'm gonna take another div, and inside that div I'm gonna take an h1 tag which will contain the name for that. I am Sarah Johnson. And after that one also, we're gonna create another div for that. So first of all, let's go and grab some class name for that our h1 tag. That's the simple class name. Feel free to go over and over for that, and you will understand it better. So now as you see, I'm just giving modifying the text for the medium is like it's just a little bit classification, like whenever you are going to scroll over, you see the text is reducing on the size. So that's the things I'm implementing over here also. That's the Sarah, and now you see that looks better. But we need to take text that one in the top label. So to do that, I think what we need to do, because everything is not coming in the top label, so in the design portion, what I'm gonna do, in a simple solution for that, I will make that one as a relative div, relative. And now remember, we create a design, and that design actually we can modify by giving it as an absolute value. So what I'm gonna do, or whenever I'm making it relative, yeah, that is our div. It should go in the top level, but it's not going. There is somewhere something we are missing. So what I'm gonna do in here, I need to just go through it. I will make that div as absolute, okay, and from the left it will be 0, and from the top also it will be 0, and the width will be full, and the height will be the same height we give for 700 pixel. And actually those things we applied beforehand, but instead of applying that one, I think I applied in a wrong place. It should be applied over here, and then it will work. Yeah, I applied that one in a wrong place, because as you see there will be a little bit of shadow effect over here in the image. So I did it in a wrong place, in a wrong proportion. So in the nav there will be actually a different kind of style. So let's go over here. For that div it will be this style, and for our Navbar also, where is our nav? Yeah, I'm gonna implement that. So the same class name and classification is going on. Just feel free to go over and over. So now see, our text is over here. Now it's working just fine. But what I need to do, by default I'm gonna give all the text, it will be white. All available text, it will be white. So now you can see our text is available here. So now even our text here, but it's not in right proportion. So how we can keep it in right proportion? We go in the top level of the div, and now here we're gonna give a class name. The width will be full and height will be full, and also I'm gonna make it a flex, and it will be a flex in a column axis. And after that I'm gonna make it justify in a center, and items will be in center, and also the just to give, already text is white so no need to give that, and the padding in x-axis will be 4. So after giving that, you see it's in the center. It's looks better now. So after that also we need to create another design which will create the leader, designer and YouTuber. So to do that, what I'm gonna do, after that h1 tag, I'm gonna take another div, and inside that div, first of all let's go and grab some class name for that div. Let's see how it works. See, I'm just classifying, specifying the class name, which will be the flex and item center. You can arrange it the way you want, and I'm also making it responsive from the beginning. Whenever it will go to the MD skin, the gapping, everything, whenever you type, you will understand it's so better and smooth. So now let's go and give an h2 tag, and this h2 tag will contain the letter leader. So if I paste over, if I just save, and you'll see the leader is available. And for that leader, what I need to do, I need to also specify some of the class name, and I think I'm gonna make everything as uppercase. Yes, so in uppercase. And also as you see, that row line is coming from the icons, so we need also that React icons for that one. So let's go and install the React icons. And for that one, I believe that icon is yeah, we will take like an icon which will be like minus, and then we're gonna flip that icon. Okay, so we're gonna use that one, high minus, I think. Yeah, we're gonna use that one. So let's copy it. And after that h2 tag, we're gonna implement that icon for it. Just give me a second. Yes, after the h2 tag, we're gonna implement that. So now I believe you're gonna see a little bit, oops, something wrong, we missed something. Let's just make a hot refresh. Element type is invalid. I believe we are okay, high minus, because we need to also implement from hi, which will be the sector giving the high minus. So after saving it, you see also that icon is available here, but that icons is not working the way we want. So what we want, we will give a text of a 2 axle, and then we're gonna make it a rotate. rotate in 90, and after rotating, as you see, that's now working just fine. And also for the h1 tag, I'm gonna give also some class name because I want to make it little bit looks better. So let's go, and now and after that you see it looks similar to the one over here. It's the same. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my another two proportion which will contain that two part, and after that minus tag, I'm gonna give the leader, designer, YouTuber, and see, it's just available over here. So now as you see, our banner portion is done. So easy and simple, but it looks so sleek and better. And I'm saying again, if you have any confusion regarding that particle.js, just I'm gonna tag that video in the description or in the other way, so you can just find it somewhere and watch it and you will understand it better. So after the description, what we have our about me page, right? So we need to create that section, that about me section. So let's go to our over here, and in our components we're gonna create about me.tsx rafce. Oops. And also close the banner. We need to implement that one. Now banner portion is done over here. Now here it will be our about me portion. Let's save it, and after saving, I believe we will find it here. As you see, about me portion is available. So first of all, let's go to in the about me, and instead of div, we're gonna use that section as a section, and we're gonna give an ID of about. And also I'm gonna specifying some of the class name which gonna help us to identify that one much better. So the same class name, width and height full, and also giving in a padding in a y-axis of 28. Now you see our about option is available. Now also we need to keep that portion over here, and to do that, first of all, in here I'm gonna take a div, and inside that div I'm gonna take a h1 tag which will be like a story about me. After saving it, you can see that's available over here. And for the h1, before, as you see, actually this is not taking the full width. This is the width of a particular width, which will be my width of a max width of 6 axle. So we're gonna implement that width over here. So let's go in the top level of the div, and now in here we're gonna give that class name. Also I'm telling you it will be responsive, so I'm gonna adding that responsiveness to the gapping, which will be empty screen. If you have any problem regarding that classification name, just feel free to go TailwindCSS and just go to responsive design. You're gonna know what is mean, MDLG Excel to Excel, what is the mean of media query on that. Just try to read the documentation and you will understand. So whenever you see those kind of class name over here, just go through, combine over it, feel free to read the documentation, and you will get it what is written here. So now I'm giving a max width of 6 axle, MX auto, it will be in the middle, and I'm giving a flex will be column, and gap will be in the large device, it will be 16. So after that, also for the h1 tag, what I'm gonna do, let's go and grab some class name. It will be class name, and then the text will be 3 axle, much bigger, and all will be in uppercase, and the font will be semi bold, and the text will be in the center. After giving that, you see the story about me is over here. And now as you see, we have I am Sarah Johnson, and this Sarah Johnson and this web designer, that too is actually inside an span tag. It's very simple to do that. What I did, actually, I take a p tag, and inside that p tag I'm gonna just implement some of those. Now in that actually in this span, I'm gonna just give a font of bold and give a tracking of order and a text wide, which will give me that design, the implement design over here. So as you see, this two is ready, but first of all I need to go through and give entire p as some class name. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab some class name for that p tag also, which will be the text. I think, yeah, there is some mistake. So let's go class name, and the text will be axle, and in the MD screen, text will be 3 axle, little bit smaller, and font will be medium, medium, and MD it will be leading will be relaxed, so little bit gapping will be there in the text line, and the text will be the text color. So after giving that, as you see, that is ready. So now if we just go through in the smaller screen, and now the text is getting smaller and it looks perfect. So after that, what we need to do, we need to create that designable portion, which will be the web design, and one icon will be there. So actually what we can do after that p tag, I'm gonna just create a div, and inside the div we can create that one. Like we need to implement that icon over here. So in here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create an h4 tag, and then I'm gonna create an hspan tag, and in the span tag I'm gonna just implement that in the span tag I'm gonna just give that icon. First will be icon or the text. So let's go back and check. First will be icon, and then the text. Let's copy the text web design and put it here. So this will be our first proportion, and if we go and save, you see our icon is ready, our text is ready. So what I'm gonna do for that h4 tag, I'm just gonna go and grab that entire class. I'm gonna give a class name, the text2xl, font semi-bold, and flex. Its flex will be because I need to give that in the center proportion, that's why. And for that span tag, it's just simple. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just add that class name for the color. So after giving that, span, now it's working. So now you see that design is done. So now if I can actually just copy and paste all over the things, it's gonna work just fine, but I don't want to do in that way. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a component which will be about list.tsx or fce, and now in the about me section, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut everything, and here I'm gonna paste it. And also I need to grab that icon from here. Let's cut it and give that icon here. Now it's ready. So now what I'm gonna do, about list, I'm gonna just pass it like that. And now as you see, that also working fine. Like if I just go and generate some more, that is working fine, but it will be something like that. And for this one, we need to go in our top portion. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also introduce some of the class name, and that class name will be, I'm gonna first give a width of a 700 pixel, by the way, and I'm gonna make a grid, and the grid will be calls 1, and whenever it will hit the empty screen, the grid calls will be 2, okay, and the gap will be 8. After giving that one, you'll see that gap is over here available, and it looks much better and safer. And if I don't give that much gap, I think that one also will be fine, because what if the width is not taking, because I didn't close it, so now it looks fine. But now we need to actually pass that data as in title, right? Because the icon is same, so icon no need to pass. So what I'm gonna do, in the title we need to pass that data. So let's go and pass that data over here. We're gonna close the other two, no need for right now. And now we need to take the title as a props, so we need to introduce the props over here in our this section. So what I'm gonna do now, normal in our typical React application, I will just take that as a title, but now still, you see, we need to define the type for the TypeScript. So now what I'm gonna do, type, it will be a props, and that props type, it will be like title, it will be string. And after giving the title, what I need to do, I need to specify what kind of proportion I'm gonna use. Now the props is gonna use. Now again here, I'm gonna just give the title, and as you see, it just work fine. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab my other things, all other possible items over here in about me, and paste it here. So the graphic design, ISO design, everything is available here, and you see that is looks better. And even we go in the smaller screen, oops, oh wow, that looks better. Now this portion, as you see, that one we're gonna implement later. That background, how it gonna change when we're gonna scroll, I'm gonna do it later, don't worry about it. Now after the banner section, we have what I offer section. So it will be the offer, like the offers TSX. So let's go and create that offer section for us. Now in here we're gonna create another file which will be offers.tsx rafce, and also let's close the all other things which not necessary. And now in here we're gonna take our offers, and also in the offers I'm gonna just introduce some of the class names so we can see that section properly. Just giving a BG, it's a particular BG, and text wide padding in y-axis 28, and you see that is our offer portion. So now in the offer, what we gonna do inside of here, first of see what we have one h1 tag. We need to create that one. So before that, I'm gonna take a div. Inside the div, I'm gonna take an h1 tag what will mention what I offer, and if I save, it will be available over here. Now for that offer also, the similar way we give it beforehand, as you see, we also keep one h1 tag. It will be like a similar. So I'm gonna go and grab some class name for it, and you see after that, that looks better. And now that portion is done. And now after that h1 tag, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take another div, and inside that div I need to create that our offer portion, like we have a like a card, that branding, designing, everything. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another component over here which will be our offer card.tsx, and in here we're gonna render that offer card over here, and as you see our offer card will be available. So now for that offer card, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna generate the 4 offer cards. So in the parent div, in here I'm gonna just make it in a width full and a px of 10, and giving the same grid columns of 1. Whenever it will hit in empty screen, get a 2 column of grid, and LG it will get 4 columns. Just simple like that. And also it will be empty 20 from the top level, so it will give a gap little bit, as you see that gap also available here. So now we need to create that particular portion in actual way. So let's go and create that one. Let's go to our offer card over here. Where is our offer? Yeah, over here. So now first of all we need to, like as you see, we're gonna go in a component wise. So I'm just not gonna go and make you understand, because we already create the component beforehand. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just show you how the things will be done. In the component we're gonna pass that like we need to get, I think, the 4 icons we're gonna use. So that's the 4 icons we will use. And now we are passing the title. The title will be, one is the branding, subtitle will be the branding and other, and the icon, we are passing that icon value which will make the icon later on. So in that same way I'm gonna pass that 3 value as a props. Now even we keep it here, it will not work, it will not give us the value, because we need to catch that value over here. So we have 4 card. Now in the card we need to get all over the necessary items, the items we are passing over here. We are passing a title, we are passing a subtitle, we are passing an icon. So we need to catch that one over here. And first of all, to catch it, we can actually catch it like the simple way. It's like the icon we are catching, title, and also the subtitle. So now if we just go in the card, like in the top level of the div, if we just render one, if icon is available, what we're gonna do, and then it will be the icon. We're gonna just keep the icon. Let's see what is giving. And you see icon is available. we're gonna fix all of the error, but just see icon is available, right? Even there is a error, it's running. So just we need to do the type definition, and we're gonna do it later. Oops, I believe it will be in the icon. Yeah. So just I'm gonna go some class, give some class name for the icons, and the icons looks fine and it's working better. And also after that icon, what I'm gonna do in the same div, after that condition, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take an h1 tag, and inside that h1 tag I'm gonna pass the value of title, and after the title I'm gonna take a p tag, and I'm gonna get the subtitle. So now after having that, you will see that is working fine. All the availability is available. So in our parent label of the div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce some of the class name in our top label, which will be the width full. The shadow will be car shadow. Remember, we already declared a shadow color over here. The shadow, that shadow will implement over here. If you don't like, you can change the value and you will get your desired proportion. And if we save over here, you see that things looks better. Now we need to just give some class name for h1 tag. And by the way, I can actually type all the class name manually, but it will just get much more time. I'm just reducing the time, so feel free to go and implement those class names. All are the same and it will work just fine. And also for the p tag, I'm gonna just go and grab some class name, and I'm going to implement that. Text to Excel, text color is the different color I'm putting. Now you see that looks better, but now we need to fix that error, right? But we took the props, but it's not better if we have the complaint that our TSX is freaking out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce that interface over here, and it will be that props, and that props will contains the icon, and that icon will contain as a react dot, it will be an element type we are passing, element, I think element type, yeah, element type. And the title, it will be a string, and also the and also the subtitle, it will be a string. I don't know from where is giving me that portion. It will be react.element type. Yeah, should be. It will not be there. That equal sign will not be there. It's my bad. I made that mistake. Now, because we are using that element type, so we need to declare like a function component over here, which will come from the React. So now what we need to do, we need to just get that function component from the React, and now we need to connect our function component over here in our offer card. So it will be the function component, and inside that function component we need to declare our props. And after declaring that, you see all our error gone, because now we are telling the TypeScript whatever the things we are available, we are using the icon as a React element type, because it's not any string or text, and the title will be the simple text, subtitle also will be the string as simple text. So now our offer portion is done, and if I just go in, that is also responsive, looks better. So now after offer, we have our featured work portion. So let's go in the components and create that. Instead of feature works, I'm gonna just keep it as a works tsx refce, and in the feature works, offer done. So let's go in here, and inside the work section we're gonna get our works. And also to make it much more visible, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab some class name for it. And also I believe we need to make it as a section, and the ID will be portfolio. And by the way, in the offers, did we give the ID? Nope. So it will not work if we don't give section, and ID will be buffers. So let's close it. And now if we save the works, and you will see that our works section is available over here. Now at the same way we give the first one, we also need to introduce the same h1 tag. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna implement that one over here. In that the section, it's gonna be the featured works, and the same specifying class name will be available, and the featured work is done. Now we need to create our image portion, that image. So see, it's a hover also effect is going on also over here. So first of all, I'm gonna go and grab that 4 images we're gonna use from our application. We're gonna take that image from public folder and the assets and from the indexed. And by the way, we didn't create an index, so I'm gonna just go and create for you, and you're gonna learn how to do it. So in the public folder inside the assets, I think, yeah, we're gonna create that inside the assets. Oh no, I already created. When I copy it's there, so I'm just importing that file in that index.js, and from there I'm directly exporting. So now from that file I can access that file anywhere I want. So now after that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create an overall div, because under this div, like if you see over here, now this will be in overall div. And under this div, it will be like 4 div over here, and that 4 div will contain the 4 image and other properties. So this, we're gonna create that one in that simple way. So let's go and create that. So the first div in the parent one, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna same way go and grab some class name. Actually I can grab it now. Just I'm gonna grab it. Let's give it here. I'm giving a width of full, and the grid portion I'm gonna using, and to make it more responsible way. And also I'm gonna giving a width and height for it. Just go through the class name, you're gonna feel it better. So now inside that, now I need to give a particular div over here, which will go and take the width of full, and the height will be full, and it will be, by the way, the relative and also whatever overflow coming here, it will be hidden, and it will be a group portion. And now in here I'm gonna introduce our image tag from Next.js, and in that image tag it will be a source, will be our bg1, and also we need to give an alternative tag so that it gonna know what is over here. And after saving that, we're gonna have our first image is ready. So now we need to create that effect, and also that I need to pop up that text over here. So first of all, let's go in the image, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce some of the class name to implement on that image tag. As you see, the width of full, and just the scale I'm getting 1 to 5, so it will go give some of the scale, but whenever I'm hovering, that scale will be 100. So now it's in scale mode. Whenever I'm hovering, that scale is going, and that's creating an effect. And also I need to create another div, and that div will be responsible to create that black shadow over here. So let's go and create that div. So after the image tag, remember we make it relative, so we can take our other div as an absolute div. So let's go and give some class name for that div. And now we're gonna give a width full, height full, relative, busy black, giving a opacity of 70, and hidden. And remember, we make it as a group. Whenever we are hovering on that group, it will be inline block, and the transition opacity will be an 500. It will give the duration, so it will be a little bit slick. So whenever we're gonna hover, I believe we should see some black image, right? Like a group hover. This is the hover. So is it work? No, it's not work. So first of all, let's go and implement that h1 tag. Let's see. Web design. Okay, no, it's not coming. There is some, okay. What we need to do, anyway, first of all, inside that overall, I'm gonna keep inside another div. Okay, so now because I need to make the div an absolute div, so what I'm gonna do, in the top label I'm gonna take a div, and here I'm gonna introduce a class name which will be absolute, and width will be full, and height, because I make it absolute, I need to specify the actual height, and height will be the same height of my parent div, so it's gonna capture everything. And left will be 0 and top will be 0. After saving that, now we will be seeing that one. See, ooh, slick. So now what we need to do, we need to keep that one in the portion we want. So in here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give a class name. It will be the text of to Axel, and also it will be the text in the center. Font, it will be bold font, and also the BG will be design color, and the padding in x-axis it will be 6, padding in y-axis it will be 2, and the width will be 60. After saving that one, you see the design is available, but we need to keep it in the top label. And when this is actually inside an because what we're gonna do, we're gonna make it in absolute div. So now you will see it's available here in the top, but what we need to do, we need to keep it over here in the bottom. And to do that, first let's keep it in the middle. If we want to give anything in the middle, what we need to do, in the left we're gonna give a left of half, and also we're gonna use that transform, and that transform it will be translate x, and that one will be half, and also translate translate y, it will be in half portion way. So now if we see, it's in the middle, but what we need to do, we will do in the in the bottom, it will be bottom of 10. Now as we hover, see, our web design is ready. So in the same way, you can feel free, if you want to put in another in a components, it will be work just fine. But for this build, I'm not gonna put inside in components. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab all other images required for all other 3 images I'm gonna use. So 1, 2 and 3. So I'm gonna go and grab that 3 images I'm gonna use. So those are the properties. Now you see our feature work is ready. So the similar way, I just created the 4 portion and I'm just changed the image. So now our works is also done. And after the works, just if you just feel that I'm going so fast, just pause the video, go slow, and it will be just fine. Now in here, what I'm gonna do, I need to create that slider, okay, and we're gonna make it using the React slide. So first of all, it will be the section named testimonial. Let's go and create that testimonial section in our over here. Let's create another file, testimonial.tsx. Okay, now our works is done. Let's go index.js. It will be the testimonial. So testimonial, save it. And also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also go and give some class name in the parent div so that you can see the testimonial properly. Now you see we are here in the testimonial because we are specifying the actual text wide and giving a background and padding in y-axis. We are putting everything in the center. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to go through that React's not the slider. Oops, it will not be slider, it will be slick. We're gonna use that React slick slider. Now I have been doing several projects with it. If you have any complaint, you can go forward to my previous example, and also you can come through with the documentation to understand it better. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just implement that one first, and after installing that, I need to install that also, install that. And now I need to import that CSS, and that CSS, it will be in index.js, not in JS, it will be TSX. So we need to implement that one in our index.jsx, or Yeah, so in the top label I'm gonna just implement that one, and we need to remove that one over here. So now in the testimonial, what you can do actually, if you can go through the example and you can also go through the documentation, and you feel free, you're gonna find everything over here. But if you don't understand, actually you can go over here and learn everything. I already made several videos you can find in the playlist somewhere. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just implement the method. If you just follow me, it will work perfectly in your application. So I'm gonna close it. So what I'm gonna do over here, first of all, I need to get that slider portion. It will be that slider. And now after the slider, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get some of the class name. Actually I'll go through the documentation, so it will be easy for you to understand. So let's go to Slick again, because otherwise if I just copy and paste, it will just go over your head. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the settings from over here, all over the settings. So in that settings, I'm gonna implement over here. Oops. Yeah, React Slick. Why it's not? Okay, that's the Slick we implement already. Install React Slick. I think for the TSX also there will be a several setup. As you see, I need to install that one, the types.react Slick, which will define all the types. So I need to install that one also. So now after installing that is working just fine. So now what I'm gonna do, I need to, after getting the settings, I need to get that overall div. So let's just copy, and inside the testimonial, because that will be a section, and ID it will be testimonial. And now in that section, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut that, I'm gonna paste that overall div. And first of all, initially what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just take a single div just to work on what it's gonna be over here. And also I will not require that one. Now instead of keeping everything out of that, I'm gonna keep a div over here, and now I'm gonna put in a specification on that div. I'm gonna give a width and height on it. See the 500 pixel, and in the top of the middle, like from the MD screen, it will be 620 pixel. So after saving that one, you see that is ready over here. First of all, there will be no image, there will be just a simple text, right? So let's go and grab the text over here. So let's go the text. It's the simplest text ever possible. It's just a p tag giving a class name of the text axle. Text will be the text color and the text center leading 48, and just a span tag, it will be just text white. And if you save, you see that is ready. But now where is that thing? Because I need to implement the other two also. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and grab my other two div over here. So after saving, so the same thing, just the changes of in the text. Now you see we have that, and if we just scroll, it's happening. But what we need to do, instead of keeping everything 1 2 3, we need to make a dot, and also see whenever the active, the color is changed, we need to implement that one. So now let's go and create that. Now to understand it better, actually what you can do, yeah, I think my system just get freaked out. So what we can do actually, in here you can go to the example, and also you can go overall the how you can make the responsive, how you can implement the dots, append dots over here. You can go through it and see these the things we're gonna append over here, right? Instead of copying that, we can just simply copy all of it. Let's copy all of it. See, I want to append the dots. I'm gonna just copying all the dots over here, and after that one here we're gonna implement. Now it will just freaking out because we need to tell it what it actually be. So I'm not going to just give everything like what is that and what is those. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take an active class for the active dots to implement that one, and also use state. So I'm gonna take because first of all we need to find out what is the active. Oops, in the return we made something wrong. Okay, I'm gonna redo that one. Maybe we just yeah, that is working fine. And now what we need, what we did actually in here, okay, we need to copy until here. We just put in another mark more. So if we save, yeah, we are here. Now that design we need to modify. First of all, we need to take the active class. Whenever we click, we need to find out which one is active. And to do that, first thing first, we need to just put, I'm gonna take a state which gonna find out which is will be dot active and which will be not active. And we're gonna use the use state. And by the way, those things you can find in the documentation over here. Is everything is available here. You can go and feel free to explore more. And now what I'm gonna do over here, after that side scroll, I'm gonna also modify that one a bit. Instead of just giving that one, I'm gonna also make the arrows of false. And now what I'm gonna do, before change, I'm gonna take a state, and in that state, which gonna be, it will be a prev and it will be next. And now that prev next will give me a function by which I'm gonna give the active one, set active, it will be the next one. So the way it will find the previous one and next one, I'm gonna give a type of any to just avoid any issue over here. And now after here, I need to append the dot. So as you see, oops, what I did wrong over here. Oh, I need to put a comma over here to make it right. So now I believe we will be able to find that actually the active one and other one. And now we need to change some of that class name over here. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab the class name I want, because I want it will be in the middle. See, it's in the middle. And now in that UL we need to give some of the style over here, and that UL I'm just making it flex and giving a gap of 10, so it will be separate. So now instead of this 1 2 3, we need to append a separate method, right? So what I'm gonna do, instead of giving that one, what I'm gonna do actually, I believe I'm gonna keep it just I'm not gonna using anything, so it will be just, see, it's a simple. So now what I need to do, in the UL I did this style, but over here I need to create this style. I believe in the I, yes, over here also I'm gonna give an any to just avoid any error from that TypeScript. So now in here, after that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and make it, because it's giving a width of 30. So what I'm gonna do, width of 12 pixel, height 12 pixel, border radius 50, cursor pointer, and giving a border of a little bit of color. You see the border is done. Now it looks perfect. Now we need to find that actually the active one or not active one. So what I'm gonna do, instead of pulling that one, let's just cut it from there, like in the style, because see, this is one giving us the active and not active. So what I'm gonna written over here, if that I is equal to dot active, if it's dot active, it will give me those kind of like all of those style. If it's not active, it gonna give me also some portion, and those will be like, if I say, it will be just a bit kind of like that. Oops. So what where I made mistake. Okay. Oh yeah, we need to, yeah, that's in the curly, because what we need to avoid that one curly braces from here, because we are giving a condition. So now what I'm gonna do, I, if that I equal to dot active, then what it gonna give us, and if it's not active, what is gonna give us the class name. So first of all, if it's inactive, we're gonna go through and it will be the same, the border and other thing, just gonna be and a different class name over here. And also if it's not inactive, we're gonna just do the same, just again the same issue. So what I'm gonna do to avoid that error, the TypeScript is really, it's cool, but sometimes it's annoying a bit. Okay, so now it's fine. So I'm just getting the active and dot active one, that's it, just specifying the class name over here. And also in the dots I'm gonna give an any to avoid any kind of problem over here with the TypeScript. Now you see, as I click, if it's active, it's giving me that circle over here with yellowish, and otherwise it's having the gray, and it's circle and it's sliding it up properly. And by the way, also if you go in the lower screen, it's responsive. Okay, so now after that, we need to create our contact page to say hello, and let's go and create that contact.tsx over here. tsx rafce. Now I'm gonna just also implement some of the class name in our contact.js file to see how it's gonna work. And let's go. Remember, we create a background image for contact.js. We're gonna also implement that one over here. So first of all, it will be width of full, and the height will be, I'm gonna give an 800 pixel initial height. And now the bg will be a contact image, contact image, and also the bg will be no repeat, and background will be cover. So after I save, you're gonna see it is it's not available. I think we didn't implement that one yet. So in here, what we need to do, we need to get contact, and after we save, you see that background is available, but we need to just modify that one. As you see, whenever you scroll, that background is remaining, so it's like a fixed position. We need to create that positioning also in our application. And to do that, what we're gonna do, actually, after giving a bg of cover, I'm gonna make a background as a fixed, and also the text will be white, and the padding in x-axis will be 4. I'm gonna make it as a relative because there will be some portion which will be in absolute proportion. Now as you see, we have that one. Now after having that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create another div. In here, I'm gonna create a div, and that div also I'm gonna go and grab some class name to implement the way it's supposed to be, because there will be a black shadow. You see, there will be a black shadow, and the opacity, it will be 80. Now you can see the background is there, but it's a little bit black in the shadow. You can see that, but it's not that much. It looks better. So now after that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take another div inside that div. Let's take a div, and now I'm gonna take an h1 tag. Remember that h1 tag will contain that word say hello, so let's grab that one. The same way we keep all other in the top. It's the same way, just giving a thin background. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna also in the top label of that parent, I'm gonna also go and give some class name. See, I'm gonna just giving a max width of 6 pixels, because as you see, everything will contain in a width will be similar. See, that will be inside a max width, so that's the width I'm gonna just giving over inside that div. So now after that say hello, we need to create another div, because as you see, we make it a flex call, and the gap will be in a 12 in bigger screen. In a smaller screen it will be 6, so that portion it will be the same. So what we need to do, first of all, we will create one div over here, and inside that div we're gonna create that 3 div for that 3 portion. Then we're gonna create another div, and then the text area, and also then the button. So this portion we're gonna create a part by part. Okay, so first thing first, let's create the topper one. So it will be one div, and inside the div there will be another div. And first of all, the icon, actually I need that, those things I'm gonna implement. So let's go. Yeah, that's 3 icon I'm gonna use. So for the first icon, I'm gonna give that map. Yeah, that will be our first icon, and after that icon there will be a p tag which will contain my address. Let's save, and you will see that is available. So we need to give some class name for our icon over here. So that class name will contain the text for Excel, and text color will be the design color. That looks better. So what I'm gonna do in the top label, because I need to keep it a center, I'm gonna just make it a flex, and it will be the flex in a column, and items will be center, and the gap will be 3. After having that, you see that looks now good. So what I need to do, I'm gonna just implement other 2 of that icons and text over here, which will be one phone, one will be for email. And after having that, you see that looks better. But now also it's not looks the way it's supposed to be. We need to work a bit over here. Now give a class name. What I am gonna do, give it a flex, and after giving flex, let's see what is happening. Okay, that looks fine. So now what I'm gonna do, anyway, I'm gonna give it a flex call whenever it's in a smaller screen, but whenever it's in medium devices, it will be flex row, and also the justifying will be between, and items will be items center. So after saving that, you're gonna see this 3 portion looks perfect. So now what we need to do, we need to create the from, which will be included with import from and other things. So after having the div done, the div, so we need to create the from, and that from will have no action over here right now. So first of all, in that from, first one, it will be a div, and then there will be an input type which will be at the text, and that is the div. That is the input over here we need to create. And I'm gonna introduce some of the class name for my from, or actually not now. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just implement some of the class name for my text input over here, so you're gonna understand. See, first of all, I'm gonna give a width of full, and then in NB devices I'm gonna giving a width of half. If I save that one, you will see that's taking the overall, just a little bit designing over here for the merging, padding and gapping. Just you can go through those class names and you will feel it better. Also, if you want to give a text of LG, you can give it LG. So yeah, LG is better. And now also we need to give an I think the placeholder, it will be contain the name. Yes. So now this is the name, and now after that we need to have another input. I'm just gonna copy that one, and it will be email, and input type will be email. So now we have that one. Now in the top level of the div, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab some class name. It will be the class name, the width will be a full. First of it will be flex, and initially it will be flex call for the smaller devices. Whenever it will hit an MD, it will be a flex row, row, and the items will be a center. Items will be center, and the gap will be 4. That will be the small devices gap. Like if we see over here now, this is the gap is very small, but whenever we're gonna go in the small devices, you see the gap is 4. But now that gap, whenever we're gonna go in a medium devices, I'm gonna give a gap of 10. Now after saving that, if we go in the medium devices, see the gap is getting 10. And also after having that one done, what I'm gonna do, after that div, I'm gonna give it a text area. And now what I'm gonna do, actually I'm gonna remove all over the things. It's gonna give a headache from the TypeScript, of course. So first of all, for the text area, I'm gonna also go and grab some class name to implement that one over here, the similar with that other one in the top, just is getting the full width from the beginning. So now as you see, this is ready, but it's not looks better because in the from we need to give some class name. So let's go class name with a full, and it will be flex, and it will be a flex in the column axis, and the items will be center, and the gap will be 4 in the smaller devices, but whenever it will hit MD, gap will be 10. So after saving that one, you'll notice that looks perfect. And also what we need to do in the placeholder of the text area, now we need to also like a placeholder, and in that placeholder it will be your messages. So type your messages over here. Oola. Yeah. And I think also we need to give a text of LG we are giving instead of the base. Yeah, LG. So now after that placeholder, we're gonna also go and give one a button. That button will be submit now. And that button, also for that button, I'm gonna also go and grab some class name. That class names actually is just simple design, modifying that width and height and the class name of the background. Feel free to go with each and everything and you'll understand it better. When I hover, there is, see, the border is the design color, and initially the border is transparent. It's just a modification like that. So now we are having that portion, our footer, not so far, not our contact. Now after having the contact, also we need to create that like a little bit of in the, I believe that will be after from. Yeah, that will be after from. In the from, we need to give also create another one which will contain that two, which will contain that two portion. This will be in a div and that will be separate. So now let's go and create those portion over here. First of all, I'm gonna take a div over here, and inside that div I'm gonna take a p tag, and that p tag will contain this one, project inquiries, and you see this is available over here. And what I'm gonna do in that div, I'm gonna grab some class name. It will be the text of LG and the font will be thin. After saving that, oh, it's slick. Now the another one, what I'm gonna do, I'm just to make you understand, I'm gonna just implement that one here. I'm just making or say hello, and then in span tag I'm giving my email, and that email I'm just making a semi bold and giving a text color. Now that looks good. And after that also, what I'm gonna do, I need to implement this portion which will maintain my copyright. So what I'm gonna do, in a p tag I'm gonna implement that one. So after that div, yeah, I'm gonna go that this one. So as you see, this is now all together. So what I'm gonna do, instead of putting it all together in the top level of that here, I'm gonna give some class name. It will be width of full, and a padding in y-axis it will be 10, and bg will be a black. Background will be black, and it will be flex, and the flex in column axis, and md it will be flex in row. Whenever it gonna hit in the medium screen, it gonna be in row, and the padding in x-axis it will be a 4, and in the md devices, like the from the md devices, it will be items center, and the justify it will be between. After saving that, you see that looks better. But now whenever I click here, it will take to my official website. I need to implement that one also for that. Now it's still not implementing. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take it inside an a tag, and inside also the href tag. I'm gonna go and implement that one. So whenever I'm gonna click on it, I'm gonna get an open blank page, and I'm gonna initialize my href one. So if click, now you see it's getting my destination. So now I'm having those one, but as you see in the contact page over here, if I type my name and also and this is the test messages, and I submit, you see I'm getting a welcoming messages, hello, and the name, and thank you for your messages, and then additional information will send to you shortly via your email, the email I have been given. Now it's ready, that message, that everything over here, the details is ready to get. You can use any API get from of others, because I already used previously 2-3 websites where I used the get from. Feel free to go backwards and see the videos, and you will learn how to send data to get from or any other database like Firebase or MongoDB. You can learn it. So now what I'm gonna do, I need to implement that one. Also, whenever I click, you see the error message is coming. So to do that, first of all, I'm just gonna go a little bit faster over here. So I'm gonna create an on-click function inside that button over here, which calling me submit now. And on that function, on that button, I'm gonna create everything. So first of all, let's go in the top level. Now const handle submit, and first in initial step default, I'm gonna just remove any default behavior, and that event will be any value, so it will not freak out in a way. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set some of the state which will contain my username, set username, email, and other messages, set messages and error messages. So this is just a normal setup we usually do in our React application. That's the same setup I'm using here. Now I need to get the value from here, that input value, whenever I type something. So to do that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that value, and I need to set that value as in that set username, right? So what I need to do over here, like whenever anything changes on that, it will take an event, and that take event, it will be set username. Username, it will be e.target dot value. So that value will be implemented as the username over here. In the same way, I will get the email also. So in our next, set the email, and also we're gonna set the messages over here. So now a.target.value. What's wrong over here? Oh, we placed in a wrong place. Should be here in text area. Yeah. So now if you just make a console.log, and you will find all the value. I know it will work, so I'm not going to make console.log. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write a condition over here, and now that condition will be if username equal to none. If there is no username, what it gonna give us? It's gonna like set error messages. It's gonna set a message which will be enter your name. Now in the same way, the other two error, it will be also setting up whenever there will be no email and no messages. It gonna, now you can also make that email validation, which I have been done in my previous 3-4 projects. Feel free to go backwards and see how I did that one. And now when everything is possible, I have the username, I have the email, I have the messages. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give an else function, and in here I'm gonna set a success message in a functional way, which will contain hello there, the username I have been given, and thank you for your messages. Additional information will send to you shortly via your email at the email user has been given. So now my message is ready. First of all, I need to set the error message, and as you see over here, whenever we click top of the, like there is so many way you can show the error, but I'm just keeping it in a simple way. So where I'm showing it in the top of that button, I'm just in the submit button, after below the text area, I'm gonna just pop up that one. If there is an error message, I'm gonna return a p tag, and that p tag will contain my error message. And also that p tag, I'm just gonna simplify some of the class name, which will looks slick, yeah, with full background red and padding in y. I just want just a simple class name. So now if we go over here and click, see, enter your name, I enter something in the name, enter your email, I enter email, enter your messages, and after that the success message will be ready. So now you can also validate your email. Just go backward and see the other videos. So now after that I have that success message, but whenever I have success message, I don't want that from to be seen, right? So this from, I'm gonna just cut it. Now I'm gonna implement the success message. Like what I'm gonna do, if there is a success message, that will be contain a p tag, and that p tag will contain my success message. Yes. And if there is no success message, I'll render my enter from. Now that success message will be available, and also what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and grab some class name for that success message. Okay, so now our success message will be ready. Yeah, as you see, if we just type from the beginning, yeah, just type something just to test. You see, success message is ready, but we need to keep some motion to make it animation. Then we're gonna make that npm ifra framer motion. We're gonna implement the motion over here, and first of all, after installing, we need to import that one. Import, let it install first. Yeah, import motion, it will be from framer motion, and now we're gonna make the div as a framer motion div. So to do that, what we need to do, before that tag, we need to just keep the motion and then put in period. It will work. Now in initial state, what it gonna be, the success message will be in y, it will be in a 50 of below from the y axis, and opacity will be 0. And now we're gonna set the animate, so whenever that animation will happen, y it will be in the position where it's supposed to be, and opacity will be 1, so it will be visible. And also we're gonna set that transition, and the transition, what it's gonna be, it will gonna be a duration, the gap will be 0.5, so half a second it will be, and the type it will be easy in. So after saving that one, yeah, it will not be that one, should be that one. Yes, so it's ready. So now if we go over here, just make a refresh to let it go outside. And now if we just keep something or just put some name, success message. Now you see, oh, that looks better. So now we are having our contact from, we are having all over the parts is required. Now we need to create that slick. So whenever we click, you see that additional navbar is coming. We need to create that navbar. Before creating navbar, you see there is an like a button. Once you click, it's taking to the top. So we need to create that scroll to top component, that button. So first of all, let's go to our component, and in here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna scroll btn.tsx rafc. We're gonna create that one over here, and of course we're gonna implement that one index. We're gonna implement below that div, because we're gonna make it absolute. Not in absolute, I think we're gonna make it fixed positioning. So now in that scroll btn, so let's go over here. First of all, we need to create that one, and for that I'm gonna use one icon over here. It will be from the React icon, and after that icon, what I'm gonna do initially, it's all about just a modification of that div. So you can feel free to go to the class name I'm applying over here, and in here inside that I'm gonna use a button, and inside that button I'm gonna use that icon. As you see, I'm gonna giving a width 14, height 14, z index of 50, so it will be seen anywhere, and the text will be 3-axle fixed. Top will be just from the top, it will be 85 view height. So it's just some of the simple class name is happening over here. And if I refresh, I believe we'll see nothing here yet, because what we did, we make it hidden at the beginning. If I remove the hidden, you will be able to see now it's there. So in button level, what we need to do, we need to give some class name, and the width will be full, height will be full, and the flex items will be center. Justify also will be center, and it will be relative. And if we save, you see that icon is actually not in good mood, so we need to make that icon looks better. I don't know why the flex is not working. Item center, justify center. Oh, that will be, it will be full. Yeah, so now it's in center, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna rotate it, and I'm gonna rotate it minus 90. So my ROTATE, it will be 90 degree. So now it's in the top. So first of all, it will not be seen in a certain moment. So let's go first. We're gonna create one. As you see, I believe we text in somewhere, because I need to get it through the class name. Yeah, that is scroll btn class name. We give it here. Through that class name, we're gonna implement all our things over here. First of all, we need to create that use effect state. So let's import the use effect, and let's create that functional component. So what we're gonna do, like scroll btn, we're gonna find it here. We're gonna make a document dot query selector, because inside the document we're gonna give, and scroll btn, we're gonna find it, and we need to find it as HTML element, otherwise it will freak out, because we need to tell that TSX that it is actually an HTML element. We're gonna find it like giving a document.query selector. So now is we save, like just we make a console.log scroll btn, you're gonna see that is scroll btn. First of all, you see we need to make an empty like empty array to let it not render frequently, like on and on. It will stop rendering after that thing's done. So now you see that div is available. We find our tag. So now we can actually work through it. So first of all, let's create something which is called window.scroll. I believe it will be window.onScroll function. Yeah, so whenever we're gonna scroll, so window.onScroll, I'm gonna just pass a function on it, and that function, it will be scroll function. Just I'm just passing a function. Now I need to declare that function somewhere so that it gonna work. So after below that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take that scroll function, I'm gonna make that function. Let's do that. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pass a condition if document dot body dot scroll top, that scroll top is like bigger than 300, then it gonna give me something, okay, bigger than 300. Or there will be another condition, document dot document element, okay, and that also is scroll, I believe scroll to top, maybe. Yeah, scroll top is supposed to be scroll, yeah, scroll top is bigger than 300. Then it gonna give me a function, and otherwise also it gonna give me another function. Now what I need to do, whenever that is more than 300, I want it to be seen, otherwise it should not be seen. So that is scroll btn dot, if there is that scroll btn, okay, then I'm gonna use a style on it, and that style will be a display, and that display will be block. I want it to be seen. And also if and in their way, I'm just gonna make elsewhere, if that is not below than others, like it's less than 300, that will be like false, it will not be seen. And also in here, I'm gonna make it hidden. So initially we will not see that. Whenever we gonna just see, oops, yeah, the scroll on scroll is getting 300 pixel is coming. So whenever you scroll more than 300, it's coming. And now also whenever you click, we need to keep it to the top. So we need to generate that function after creating that portion. So now we already create that visibility. So now we need to create scroll to top. So let's const scroll to top, and also that will be a function. Feel free to go any other name you want to give. And now I'm gonna get window scroll to, and that is scroll to, I'm gonna pass the object, and that object will be top 0, and behavior will be smooth. So whenever it's passing, it will be smooth behavior. And now when that scroll to top will happen, that happen whenever scorpion available, because remember we make it false, so we need to tell the TypeScript whenever it is available, only that will fire, only that time, otherwise it will not fire out. Okay, so if there is scorpion, it gonna take an event listener, and that event listener will take a clickable function, and that clickable function will return something, not other thing. It will be just make that scroll to top function it gonna implement. That's just simple. So now if you go and see, just click, whoa, and click, it's taking you to the top. You go anywhere to the application, you click it, it will take you to the top. Now it's time to let us to create that portion. So first of all, we need to go to our banner where we create that icon. So let's go to banner. So in the banner, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and get make a piece of state. Yes, and that piece of state, it will be const menu and set menu. Use state, and I believe that is the portion where take the icon. So we're gonna create an on-click function over here, on click, and here it gonna be set menu, because initially it's false. Whenever you're gonna click on it, what it gonna do, it gonna make that set menu as true. So that is the portion we need to work on. So now after that, this is the portion over I think this is the things is done over here. So now before the section is finished, we will work through that one. So we're gonna make it whenever there is the menu, what will be available. If there is a menu, and I'm gonna passing a div, and that div will be just, first of all, I'm gonna just go and grab some class name. So we're gonna the div will be visible, otherwise it will be difficult to see that there is a div or not. So I'm gonna just go and grab simple class name with full hide screen. It will be background black, and opacity will be 400, fixed top 0, right 0, flex, justify, just a simple class name. So now whenever I click over here, see, it's available, but what I need to do, I need to create another portion, like another div, to let it be seen actually. And also for that div, I'm gonna go and grab some class name to make it looks better, and inside that div I'm gonna just put an h2 tag or h1 tag, hello or helco, whatever it is. So now see, that one is available. If I refresh, and now if I click, that one is available. So now we need to make it a two part on it. This one part will be available with the text, another part will be with the close button, right? So we need to create that two portion. So first of all, let's go and create two div over here. That will be the left div, that will be the right div. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go and first grab some class name for our first div, which will be available over here, and also we're gonna go and grab some class name for the div it gonna be in other side, in over here. Now as you see, that div I'm giving a 4/5 of that entire width, and as you see, we're gonna give a width of 60% in the middle. In LG devices the width will be 40%, and initially for the small devices the width will be full. That's the normal setup. So now in here, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna introduce a button. The button, I'm gonna just put an X on it, and that button also will go and amplify some of the class name over here. And also what we're gonna do, we're gonna create an on-click function on that button. Like whenever we click on that function, on that button, it's gonna make that set menu as a false. So that things it gonna implement. So as you see in here, if we refresh, now if we click, wow, now if you click here, that's gone. Click and gone. So now we need to create that list item over here. First of all, the two portion will be here. One will be the list item, another will be our like little bit does the email proportion over here. So first of all, let's go and create that UL function, the unordered list, which will be available over here. So that one we're gonna create inside the div. Let's get a UL and ally. It will be first will be home, and also for that one, for that ally, I'm gonna just go and grab some class name for that. And if we save, we're gonna see this is the home. As you see, if we hover, there is a little bit effect. So in the same way, we can create 2 3 4 5. I believe there will be 5. Yeah, home, and there is the oops, home about. Let us see what is that all. Home about portfolio testimonial. Home about portfolio. Remember, we have also have one portion which is works, so we're gonna put it that one also. Then after the work, it will be testimonial, and after that testimonial, we have another one which will take us as contact. Now if we save that one, you see that 4 is ready. So now in that ally, the unordered list, we're gonna also go give a class name. It will be flex, and a flex will be in a column, and the gap will be 2 to look a little bit better. So now see, now we need to use the other thing, the scroll one. So before creating this scroll, also I'm gonna just do, after that div, I'm gonna introduce another div which will contain my other portion, that email portion, the same way we did before. As you see, that looks slick. Now whenever we click, but before creating we will create that clicking first. So whenever we click, it should take us to the particular portion, right? And for that one, we're gonna use that React scroll. Let's go to npm. And let's implement the React scroll. So what actually we're gonna do, I believe that will be not working at the first time, because we need to get the TypeScript one. So I'm gonna just go manually scroll from React scroll, and as you see, it's freaking out. So just go in over here, and it will show the available capacity, that how you can install that one. So don't be freak out, just feel free to look around, and you will find the solution over here. So now we have this scroll, and we will use the link properties from this scroll. So actually what we want, whenever we will click, remember we give a ID, like we in the about, we give a section ID which is about. So we want it to go in that about whenever we click. So now before creating the home, let's go to our about one, so that we can see actually what's going on. So let's cut it. We're gonna put inside a link, and that will be about. And here we're gonna give the properties. What it's like what we want. We want it to go to in about section, and it will be spy. It will be true, to just give a little bit a section of spying, and that is smooth. It will be smooth whenever it's making the transitioning, and the offset, it will be -70. So it will just go before that one is finishing, and the duration, it will be 500 to create that transition. And there will be an on-click function. That on-click function, you know what it will do? It gonna make that set menu as false. So whenever we click that, it will make that set menu as false, and then it gonna scroll to that about with a smooth transitioning. So now if we go to our over here, you see, ooh. And for the home, of course, we need to create that one. So what I'm gonna do, instead of this ally, it will be a link properties. and I'm gonna grab all of the things will be the same, only it will give us me the home. Now save it, go back to the home. So in that similar way, what I'm gonna do, that portfolio, I'm gonna change for the portfolio also. This gonna grab for that portfolio, and after the portfolio we have for the testimonial, because previously we are not using the work, but I'm gonna use in here. And after testimonial we have that contact. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna implement also here in works link, and it will be that same properties. So in the works, what's the ID name we have been given? Oh, there is a mistake, because the work will be the portfolio, so actually we no need that one. Yeah, so that's fine. So now if we go over here and just make a refresh to see how it's working. Now if we click in contact, it will take me, oh, in contact, it's not taking me in contact because it's not getting the actual thing. Why it's not getting? Let's just there is a contact ID. Did we give the ID for the contact? I think no. Yeah, that's why it's not working. You can make a div or section. I love to make it section, make it a contact, and now it will work. Contact, oh, it's better. Testimonial, oh, the same way. The testimonial also didn't give it yet, that's why it's just freaking out. So no, we give it actually testimonial, yeah, testimonial, yes, and portfolio, and also in about, and then in home. That looks good. Now whenever we click outside the div, it's supposed to be closed. As you see, if we click inside, it will just giving a portion. Like if we click anywhere, it's not going. If it's outside, it's gone. So we need to implement that one, and for that one, what we need to do, we need to just create a simple proportion, and that is we're gonna create a ref in the banner. Let's go in the top level. I'm gonna create it. Construct will be use that use ref, and for the TypeScript we need to tell that it will be a string. Value can be a string or can be any, so that the TypeScript will not be freak out, and the value will be an empty. Oh sorry, that it should not be red, it should be ref. So I'm gonna use that use ref. So now that ref we're gonna connect to our application over down there. I think that use ref, which one be? That ref will be that menu, right? That one. So it's gonna be over here. So now that ref will be it gonna be as an object I'm gonna take, and it will be from that node, just to let TypeScript to see, because normally in React application we'll just put ref equal to ref, but we cannot do it in TypeScript. We need to say what is the ref. So now what we will say, the ref dot current is equal to node. So we are just managing what kind of reference we are keeping that one as a current reference. That's the thing we're gonna telling it in its TypeScript language. So now what we're gonna do whenever we're gonna making on that ref. So now we're gonna create a function, and I'm gonna make it a handle click. Actually we need to create that function, we need to call that function on the div, right? But we didn't do it. So let's go on that div, because we need to create a function on that div and the overall div, and that one will be on click. Just give any function name. I will just give handle click. So function, it will be handle click. You can make in so many way, because we are always using that arrow function. So let's create something different, and also it will take an event, and that event value, it can be any value over here. And now if that e.target dot contains like ref dot current, then what it gonna be do, it gonna do that set menu, it will make it false. So what I'm gonna telling it, if that reference, because as you see, that is whenever I click that entire portion, it will be a reference. Like if I just to show you, whenever I click over here, now this portion is entirely as a reference, but this out of that reference, because this is an independent div. So now that portion is the inside of that reference div. So whenever I click on here, that should be removed. So that is the one I'm saying it to that function, that should be removed. So if I click over here, it's removed. So if I click over here, it's closed. If I click, it's removed. If I click, it's going to the testimonial. If I click, it's taking to the top. So now also, if you just see over here a little bit in a good way, is fully responsive and is working just fine, So feel free to implement all over the things, but there is another little bit of things which is going through bit. See, whenever I scroll, that color is changing. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go a little bit quick on it. I'm gonna just implement some of the styling over here which gonna be responsible to create that. First of all, I'm gonna take two value which will give me the nav size and other, because I'm gonna taking that nav as over here. So I'm gonna give a nav size, I'm gonna putting a nav color. So first of all, I'm gonna take an even listener for that. That one will be const listen scroll event, I believe. Yeah, listen, it will be listen. Why it's not showing me that one? That one, to implement that one, yeah, just create a function. This const listen scroll event, and let's take a function on it. And inside that function, of course, it will be an arrow function, and I'm gonna make an window dot scroll in y, in level of y, and if it's more than 10, I'm gonna put a set nav color, and that color I'm gonna put as fully black. Yeah. Now if it's more than 10, if it's not more than 10, like if it's the normal level, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a set nav color, and it will be transparent. And also after that, what I'm gonna do, window dot scroll y, if less than 10, actually, okay, I'm gonna go without the size. Let's see if it's working or not. And also I need to make an use effect function over here to create the value from there, because it will be changing whenever I'm gonna scroll. So window dot add even listener, and I'm gonna take a function as a scroll. So whenever it's gonna scroll, it's gonna make that listen scroll event, it's gonna fire it that one. And also after giving that, it's gonna return something. It's gonna return a function which will be implemented as window dot even add even listener. Window dot remove add even listener, because I'm gonna implement that one first. So whenever it's gonna scroll in backwards, it's gonna also remove that one. So also it's gonna remove that scroll, and that will remove that listen scroll event, and I'm gonna close that array. And now in the section, I think in the navbar, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just manipulate the color with the color I am providing right now. So the color I'm gonna put in style, I'm gonna give a background color of nav color. Actually I'm not giving a height, so I'm gonna just remove that height. So let's see if it's working. Wow, see? So whenever it's a, oh no, it's not the first one. Yeah. So initially there is a transparent background, you will not see the band. So whenever I am just scrolling, smoothly is getting the block. So whenever I'm giving that, wow. So now in a way our application is ready, and is ready in a very structural way. So now we actually can implement that one. So first of all, we will make it live because we want our project to be live. Let's go to an GitHub, and in my GitHub repo I'm gonna open another folder. So let's create a new, and it will be portfolio YT. I think that one is taken before. Portfolio, what I'm gonna give, just let's give a new portfolio. So I'm gonna, let's start that and our portfolio is ready right now. It's ready to go, and you see it's in the live. So now we want to change our domain name, and it's very simple and easy. So go to our project variation, next portfolio. I want to go to in the domain. So remember what domain we give. It will be portfolio3.reactbd.com. so let's add that one, and let's go in that one. Now see, our portfolio is ready. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give that repository in the description and also the site, so you can go hand in hand and make your portfolio website as the way you want it to be. So I hope this video will help to create your portfolio in a dynamic way with the Next.js, and it will help you to create your project. So see you in the next video.